Yeah, thanks so much, Camilla, for the introduction. I cross both commissioner and survivor on this commission, chairing the survivors group and reporting back to the other commissioners. Having survivors at the heart was and is the key. They and we are the experts. And I want to say a quote from Maggie Oliver, who's a fellow commissioner. She said that this is given weight by voices of real survivors, not just supposed experts, which is rare but critical. And as it is rare, this is the first report that has a survivors group at the heart of it. So before I go any further, I want to say how tough and triggering it is talking about something that creates not just painful memories, but real visceral feelings that leave you feeling raw and vulnerable, no matter how much time goes by. And let me tell you, every single time you speak about your abuse, each person in the survivors group had their voice silenced for a long time, but not anymore. So I'd like you to hear their names and thank them. Paul, Sammy, Callum, Rhiannon, Chris, Josh, and also for my younger self, Charlie. You are heard, you do matter, and you are seen. And I also want to say thanks to Olivia, who she spent so much time making sure that everyone was really listened to, which I think is so important as well. For so long, I hid what happened to me, and it was a combination of what was reinforced to me by my abuser, that it was for my benefit. I was an athlete and he was my running coach, and I trained really hard. I trained 5 times a week as a teenager, and I wanted to be the best and to win. I already had a schema, a pattern of striving for perfectionism, this like unrelenting standard that nothing was ever good enough, and anything less made me feel unsafe, and it created feelings of shame, and I lacked self-worth and belonging. And my coach tapped into that and told me that it would make me stronger and faster. And that was his way in. And that's how it all started. The reason why I'm telling you this is because understanding the manipulation and the psychological power held, and that sexual abuse is far more than a physical act. As one of the survivors on my group said, it gets into your very inner psyche of who you are, is one of the most single ways we can help victims and survivors. Because by knowing this and having a clear understanding of what a victim is going through, and let me remind you, I always say this because I think it's really important that it's a child we're talking about, and that means it's a child's mind, a child's viewpoint, and a child's world. We can look at the barriers of a child's disclosure then, and rather than putting the onus on a child suffering horrific trauma to safeguard themselves from adults who they are taught to trust, but on a system that believes them, recognizes them as victims, protects them, and does everything to make sure that they don't carry the burden on their own, give them a fighting chance to live well and reach their potential.